Where did you grow up?
Grew up in Prairie City, Iowa, with my mother and father. Went to PCM. Most of my art started over in PCM, Prairie City, when I went to middle school. It's kind of where I found out why, why I have an interest in it.
Was there a lot of art around you in your childhood?
No, actually there wasn't. However, my uncle Mark, he did a lot of art, and I guess I had some grandparents and elders that did some art.
What initially got you into art?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I guess the scholastic book orders that you could get when you were younger, I'd always get those learn how to draw books, and I cheated at first by tracing, and then I kind of started seeing if I could actually do it myself. So,
Could you?
yes and no. They provided you with trace paper. What else are you supposed to do?
What was the first time you thought you may have some talent?
I'd say as soon as I got into middle school and was actually making drawings, and people was like, "Whoa, that's really good." So I thought maybe I should try out some other things, and basically just started throwing things down on pencil.
Who were some of your influences?
Influences? Not really a whole lot. I mean, other than my art teacher, Mr. Dennis, Mike Dennis, he kind of helped me refine my style and I guess helped me find what it is that I was interested in making.
You talked about Mr. Dennis. Are there any other people that helped school you in the arts?
There was a couple teachers at my Iowa State campus who helped me in my drawing classes. Tom Nepples. He helped me understand, basic composition and other things like that. And then I just say my Uncle Mark actually kind of helped me there too, because he helped push me along as far as how to go about my style and what better supplies to get and how to kind of broadcast myself.
So would you say that Mr. Dennis probably helped you the most?
Absolutely.
Computer turned off.
Let's bring it over here.
What medium do you feel most comfortable in?
Honestly, it used to be pencil. I think anymore it's like those little Sharpie pens anymore, almost like a marker. Sometimes pen. I tried dabbled in pen and ink a little here and there, but you have to have specific illustration boards and stuff to make it look right so that it doesn't bleed and whatnot. But I like to experiment, but mostly I think right now markers.
And what would you describe your style of art as?
It used to be realistic, but now I'm shooting more towards a cartoony style, something a little bit more, I'd say anamorphic, but just a little bit, bigger noses and eyes and stuff, so like a cartoony look.
Like Japan anime?
No Japan anime. No anime.
What do you think is the point of art?
There's many different points. I mean, there's the actual definition of art as something to create out of nothing, I guess, to get some sort of reaction, but I believe, like a lot of artists say, as cliche as it sounds, it's an expression. Like, you express yourself, you express what your inner imagination is, and you throw it down on paper. Like, when I make little caricatures of people, it's something that I kind of want to create into like a 3D character, like who I'd want to see in a movie or something. So.
And how do you go about starting a new piece?
Honestly, it comes from inspiration. I follow a lot of people on Instagram who do a lot of art, and I see their styles, and I kind of like how it sits up, and so I kind of want to make my own version of something like theirs, but at the same time, something more original.
Let's see. And do you plan on making a career out of art?
Honestly, that's hard to say. I mean, I'd like to. I mean, that'd be awesome, but being as it's kind of a hard field to make a living out of, I mean, I see it more as a side project anymore. I mean, I'm going to have my obvious career that's going to be my big bread maker, and then hopefully maybe I can have something on the side that I can actually flex my talent.
And how do you plan on accomplishing that?
Well, I mean, recently I just tried to make t-shirts and whatnot, and then I wanted to do prints, and so I just kind of got to get with a copy company and maybe find out how I can get some cheap prints and get those made, and then kind of get the word out that, hey, I make art, you should buy it, it's cool.
So, if art is more like your side thing, you wouldn't consider yourself like a starving artist?
Not necessarily. I don't break my bank on art supplies, but I mean, I use what I have. Um, it just like I said, it's more of a side thing. I mean, if I found some way that I'd be making really big money on it, sure, I might dedicate more of my time towards it. But as of right now, I mean, I guess I haven't found my niche for it quite yet.
What inspired you to make your zombie Mario line?
Honestly, I don't know. I always like zombifying things just because I always had like a dark side of art that I like to work with. And so I took basically the most basic part of Mario, the mushroom, and was like, hey, let's add some ripped flesh and bone to it, and thought it looked pretty cool. And I thought, well, why not give an anatomical structure to anything else too? So like the bomb and the star. Granted, they don't have skeletons, but I made them have one anyway, and it seemed pretty awesome.
Do you worry about copyright claims?
I did actually recently. I was worried about that when I wanted to make T-shirts. One of my buddies approached me about that, and so I hadn't really looked into it. I said, "You should do that for me." And so he looked up a couple websites, and there's a lot of free-based stuff that you can go off of, like comic book characters that have been made that you can edit, and then it's no problem. But I haven't actually looked into that, and I know I should if I start making good money off of this, because it's legal battles I don't want to be a part of.
And so, when it comes to making shirts, is it something you would want to keep doing, or is it just a one-off idea?
I mean, if it took off, yeah, I'd keep doing it. I mean, I got a buddy of mine, John Banks, over at Ames, who wants to do a collaboration piece with me for his final capstone project. And he wants to make some shirts. He had a buddy of his who actually wanted to buy one of my designs and put them on his shirts. But being as I'm kind of selfish in that respect, that's my art. I'd like to keep it mine. So, but yeah, I mean, if it took off, if more people wanted them or wanted to buy some or actually had an interest in it, I'd definitely keep going with it.
And how are you gonna have the shirts made?
I had Ben Neighbor on the line from helping me make shirts. He previously worked at A-Team Apparel, and so he's got some knowledge in that. And I believe recently he bought his own print screen thing. I haven't seen it yet, but trouble is I've been in contact with the kid since August, and it's kind of been, I don't know, it kind of went to a halt. I mean, I talked to him about a month ago, so I'm just kind of still waiting on words, and he's still trying to see if he can get me cheaper shirts. But at the same time, it's just like, well, kind of want to make this a little bit faster, like at least get it up off the ground first. So.
And if you do end up getting the shirts made, how do you plan on distributing them?
Honestly, I was going to do it by mail and do like payments by PayPal or whatever, but at this moment in time, it's probably just going to be by hand delivery because then I'd have to buy packaging supplies, and I guess I got to do a little bit more research in that respect to see where I can get some cheap packaging supplies to get them sent out.
And what is the next step if this succeeds and if it fails?
As far as if it succeeds, I mean, I do want to make bigger prints, maybe make more different shirt designs. I don't know, just like I said, throw it on the side project, make a website where people can buy stuff. If it fails, I mean, well, it's not like I invested my life into it, so maybe I can try a different route.
All right.